Welcome to the panel portion of this event. Hi, I didn't know this about you. You were an engineer at one point, and now you're an entrepreneur. Take me through that journey.
Thank you. What an honor to be here today. And yes, it's been a journey. For me, it's been a journey of reinventing myself time after time after time. And at first, I was looking to find a career, but I ended up finding myself. And at first, I was looking for prestige. I just wanted something that was out there and prestigious. And where I'm from in Venezuela, typically you're successful only if you are an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, which I don't believe is true, but that's what I was pushed for. So come on, let's pick one thing. I was good in chemistry, so I went with chemical engineering. But then I realized that the reason why I wanted to have a prestigious job is because I wanted to matter. And I was facing so much rejection during my life, and I faced so much self-doubt. So in this journey of discovering what career I really wanted, I started to peel the layers of the onion and start to get to know myself. And in this journey of reinvention, I found my purpose of helping other people also realize what is it that motivates them. And that is why now I'm a mindset and life coach, because I want people to live more fulfilled lives. That is what feeds me and what I'm here to do, and tell my story of reinvention, and that anybody can rewrite their story, no matter where you are right now or for how far along you are. Anybody can rewrite their story.
I imagine there was a rock bottom moment that made you go, I can't do this anymore. I'm chasing down this thing that's outside of me, I can relate, to feel good inside. And I need to love me first and then give from that place. So is there a moment where the light came back in and you knew you had to make a change?
When I moved here to the United States 10 years ago, I came in with only 2 suitcases, no contacts and no savings, having to build a career from scratch. So that was my first rock bottom, in the sense that I did not know where I would be going, but it was coming from hope because I saw so much opportunity. But as I started to build my career, I was dealing with a lot of overwhelm, because I needed to make ends meet, to hit my finances, to find a job again. I wanted to be prestigious because I grew up as the only child who had to be successful. So I wanted to take that in with me in this new chapter of my life. And when I did that, I actually was so overwhelmed that I coped with food. I could not contain myself, and over the course of 3 months, I gained over 40 pounds. And that was my rock bottom, when I saw myself in the mirror and I could not recognize myself. And I realized that in order to achieve those ambitious next level goals that I really wanted to do, I needed to become a new person. And it was not about the physical part. It is about the habits that I needed to have in order to become that person. So I said, okay, I actually moved to LA. My husband had the opportunity to work in video games. That's why we moved to LA. And I figured, okay, now that I need to find a new job, this is my opportunity to start working out, because I always said the same excuse that I did not have the time. This is when I started. And I realized over time that it was more about showing up than, that was like half the battle, showing up. And I became this new version of myself that I never thought was possible. I was the kind of person who never lifted a weight, who never went on walks. And I became this very fit person and embraced this new identity. So I figured, if I could do this thing that I never thought was possible, what else is possible for me? There's so much more than I can do. And I started to embrace a new identity, and my own transformation began. And that's when I realized, okay, let's start to get to know myself. Let's see what my purpose is and start working on myself in order to give it all and just be my authentic self.
Oh, I'm so glad you talked about that, because I've watched you on social media and I've seen your weight loss journey, but I've never really heard it. And that's really powerful. I bet you there's a lot of people in this room that can relate to that. When I think about my own story, you know, there were so many moments of things that had to get implemented, new practices, new mindset, new habits, new identities. I think that's really critical that you just said that. Because when we behave in a way that is like the person we're trying to become, we have a much better chance of ending up that way. I know you have a method for how you work with people, and you touched on it a little bit when you just shared, but can you take us through a couple of key points in your methodology when you're coaching?
To make it really brief, I talk about the 3 A's. So the first A is awareness, is knowing where you're starting. You cannot get anywhere if you don't know your starting point, and just having clarity on who you want to become and what your goals are, and also knowing where the gap is from your current self to your ideal self. And then the second A, which was the most transformative for me, was the alter ego as a tool. And I actually found it by accident in the gym because I had to create a screen name when I joined the gym. So I chose, just to be fun, like Ale Power, because why not? It just made me feel fun, like I was strong, but I had no idea what I was doing. But every time I saw that name on the screen, I would tell myself, okay, this is a version of me who shows up. This is a version of me who is healthy, who can follow a program. And then day by day, and also with the help of a coach, I started to embrace that mindset and tell myself that I was Ale Power. So even when the real Alejandra didn't want to eat the healthier choice, I would say, what would Ale Power do? And then this is how, by accident, I got into the alter ego, but I've done a lot of research on the subject, and many people, including Beyonce and sports players, use the alter ego as a tool to achieve their goals. And I've just brought it to other areas of my life, where at first it was in fitness, but then, okay, who is the business powerhouse Alejandra? And I also, from the research, the more that you give it character and you make it fun, and they have like initiation story, like when Spider-Man, he has a spider that bites him, and that's how he became Spider-Man. Like, creating a whole story about your character helps you relate and just embrace those quantities. So if you don't know what the qualities of your ideal self is, you can just think of somebody that you really admire and see what are their habits, what do they do, and then from there started to shape it. And then the final A is action, just taking that uncomfortable action in order to achieve your goals, because you first are aware, then you step into the person that you need to become with the alter ego, and finally you take the action and repeat it as many times as you need to, because there will be rock bottoms, there will be mistakes, but every mistake is progress, and it's just about finding that strategy that works for you, because what works for me might not work for you, but just testing and iterating. So that is my method of the 3 A's.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much. Wow, I just got so much out of that. Did you guys get
Thank
stuff
you.
out of that? That was incredible. Thank you.